Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well. So back in May of this year, I went to see Beau Is Afraid, the new horror comedy drama film by Ari Aster at the Plaza Cinema in Truro in Cornwall. The sound system was absolutely beautiful. The sound design of this film is a character all in itself, and I was gripped right from the jarring opening frames to the haunting ending. This film was just absolutely mind blowing. It was a perfect visualization of anxiety and those irrational fears coming to life with a truly nightmarish flow. A pitch black comedy spearheaded by another incredible Joaquin Phoenix performance and wonderful supporting roles, especially by Nathan Lane, who was a breath of fresh air to see on the big screen again. The entire apartment building catastrophe in the first act really triggered my own OCD, and I related profoundly to Beau's fears of these events being manifested. The seemingly random nature of the film all has a specific purpose: to accurately portray the irrational thought patterns experienced while contemplating leaving the comfort of your own home. I just think it portrays this really, really extremely well, and I did relate to it. What makes this even more masterfully handled, though, is that the comedy aspect running throughout the film works. I laughed just as much as I recoiled in terror. Phoenix's expression when walking away from one of many traumatic experiences in this is just comedy horror gold, in my opinion. As an all-encompassing portrait of mental anguish, it naturally has extremely frustrating sections reminiscent of the time spent dwelling in our own minds, focusing on the what ifs and the could haves and should haves. You feel Beau's frustration just as much as the aggravation of those around him. A fascinating reoccurring theme was the avoidance of responsibility and fear of being held accountable for anything. Anxiety can stem out of this exact fear and the grasping for control. Beau is constantly under scrutiny through no major fault of his own, really. The narrative itself antagonises Beau, but it's all Beau's own sensitive brain caving in against him. Just an endless cycle of worry and despair, as I'm sure we've all been accustomed to in the past, at least. It's not a film that's going to be for everyone, and it will likely divide opinion. If you don't gel with the mood in the first 10 minutes, it's more than likely going to be that you're not going to find much to enjoy here. I'm just so happy that Ari Aster got to make this art house flick off the back of his roaring success in horror so far with Midsummer and Hereditary. There's this short film, The Strange Thing About the Johnsons, which is one of the most uncomfortably funny things I think I've ever watched. Great short film that I'd highly recommend if you haven't seen it already. This film is, of course, also based on a short film just entitled Beau that Ari Aster had filmed before any of his feature-length work. I still haven't seen this one, but I am eager to try this out, especially after seeing this. Much like his previous works, the imagery Ari Aster conjures up here will really stay with you. Beau Is Afraid is deceptively cathartic, overwhelmingly anxiety-ridden and bleak, while working underneath as an essential cautionary tale about the pitfalls of overanalyzing everything and a think piece on how to avoid that despair. It is, of course, an uncomfortable watch at times, but the razor-sharp, pitch-black humour and Aster's delicate balance of sympathy for Beau while the events and characters around him show major apathy and antagonism, the main antagonist being his own brain, make me feel that there's a slightly more sensitive underbelly here than is evident upon first watch. Even the tagline suggests there's adventure and excitement to be had in confronting our fears. May not be the best feeling, but it's still a feeling. I haven't really stopped thinking about this film since I saw it about 3 months ago for the first time. whenever I start to feel particularly melancholy or stressed about anything, I've been sticking on a particular track by Jake Hill titled Father Time, highly recommended track, and Chernobyl by Blank Mass, another incredibly atmospheric piece of music that I was introduced to through A Field in England, the Ben Wheatley film starring Reece Shearsmith and Michael Smiley. That's an incredibly... it plays over this scene in A Field in England. That is just an incredibly creepy and just this beautiful slow motion shot. Amazing composition. I've also been watching a lot of Bo Burnham's incredible Inside the past year or so. My partner introduced me to Bo Burnham, and I'm just eternally grateful for that, because the man's just an absolute master. And Inside is just one of the best films of all time, I think. So these things have really been bringing me comfort during any times of great stress. And as odd as it sounds, Beau Is Afraid is another source of comfort to me now. Because these works of art in horror, dark comedy or drama are created by people who have been in this same mood. The same headspace that the film in question conveys, and this process of making such a heavy film thematically has to be a weight off of their shoulders. It has to be. Packaging everything that's taken up their thoughts into this beautiful creative piece. And that means whenever we as the viewers are feeling depressed, anxious or low about anything in life, these types of films are always there addressing these feelings head on. Even if we can't quite emotionally handle returning to watch them anytime soon, we can return to our thoughts about them, how they made you feel at the time, and what's happened since your first watch of them. Beau Is Afraid is an existential masterpiece that I will return to again soon. I'd highly recommend it, and if you've seen it already, please let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching.